Welcome to the Culinary Education Center. My name is Michelle Zuppi. I'm the department chair of the Culinary Arts program. Our program is a collaboration between Brookdale Community College and the Monmouth County Vocational School District. Our students earn degrees in culinary and pastry arts with extensive hands-on learning. We would like you to join us while our faculty and students demonstrate a variety of recipes. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Tim Lutza, chef instructor here at the Culinary Education Center in Asbury, and along with me I have one of our fourth semester students, Brian Romano. And today we're going to be making salmon and papillote, which is salmon cooked in parchment paper. And with that, we're going to do some peppers and onions underneath, and an Asian ginger butter to go along with it. So first we're going to start making our butter. Ingredients that we have here is a half a pound of unsalted butter. What Brian's going to do is he's going to put that in the mixer, and he's going to mix that until it gets smooth. It's a good idea to take your butter out of your refrigerator and let that warm up to room temperature so it's easier to work with. Brian has that going on a medium speed in order to soften it up. And then we're going to mix in a tablespoon of ginger, two tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of scallions, and a tablespoon of cilantro. While the butter's mixing, you want to stop it occasionally and scrape it down off your paddle and off the sides of the bowl so it all gets incorporated. After a few minutes, once everything's combined and soft, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of saran wrap, and we're going to wrap it in a cylinder form. Now that we've made our Asian compound butter, you can see everything's incorporated. What we're going to do is we're going to roll it out. Now I'm going to take the saran wrap and I'm going to roll it together to form a cylinder, and when it's done we're going to put it in the refrigerator to chill for about 10 or 15 minutes until it's ready to use. Once I've rolled it, I'm just going to twist the ends so we get a nice smooth consistency and it's all uniform. I'm going to tie the one end. Just rolling it so it makes a nice cylinder. And then we'll go ahead and do the same to the other side. Now this will go in your refrigerator to set, and this will keep for a couple of days if you wanted to use it for something else. Over here we have one made that we've sliced and is ready to go for our salmon dish. Now what Brian's going to do is he's going to take some yellow peppers, green peppers, and onions, and he's going to slice those for our salmon.
So what you want to do is you want to cut the pepper in order so you don't have any seeds. And if you do, it's simple, just cut it out. And set in a dish. Then you want to slice julienne, which is a very small and thin piece, like this. You do this so that it cooks quickly and it's not crunchy when the salmon is done.
You can use different vegetables if you like. We just chose some green peppers, yellow peppers, and onions just to give it some texture and some color. But you can use zucchini, you can use carrots. The key thing to remember is that you're cutting them and making sure that they're all uniform so that they cook evenly while the salmon's cooking.
And just slice the onion. That.
Now that we have our vegetables sliced, now we're going to start to assemble our salmon. What we're going to do is we're going to take some parchment paper, which you can buy in the store. We're going to fold it in half. And then we're going to cut a heart out of it. So you can see we've cut a heart out of our parchment paper. Then what we'll do is we're going to take some melted butter, just to brush a little bit on the parchment paper. And we're going to take a little variety of our peppers, just as a base for our salmon to sit on, and also a vegetable for you to eat along with your salmon. And then we'll take our salmon, some salt and pepper. Salmon's a good fish for this. It's what you would consider a fatty fish, but it's good in our omega-3 fatty acids. We're going to put some of our sliced compound butter on top. And then what we'll do is we're going to fold over our top. And then we're going to start folding the edges to seal this in. What this will do while it's baking in the oven, the natural juices from the fish and the butter will help to steam this to cook it, and then it will also keep it nice and moist. Making sure all your edges are sealed to keep that steam inside. And our salmon's ready to go in the oven.
So you have your salmon here. You just put it in the oven at 400 degrees. And then give it 10 minutes and then your salmon is ready.
Now that our salmon's finished cooking, what we're going to do is just simply transfer it right onto a plate, and we're going to serve it in the parchment paper. It's part of the presentation. What you can do for your guests or at your table in your restaurant is just cut it open for your guests, and you can see the steam coming out of it. Thank you, and please join us again for more recipes at the Culinary Education Center. Hello, welcome back. I'm Tim Lutza, chef instructor here at the Culinary Education Center in Asbury Park. Along with me, I have Gavin Crawford. He's one of our 4th semester students, and we're going to be making crab cakes with a remoulade sauce. We're going to start first with making a remoulade sauce, and what that is its consistency similar to a tartar sauce, only it's going to be spicy. All ingredients here can be found either probably in your pantry or at the local supermarket.
All right, first we're going to remove the lid from our food processor. We're going to add our celery. Next we'll add the scallions. The onions. All right. We have our lemon juice. And our oil, horseradish, Dijon mustard, all right, ketchup, parsley, the coarse ground mustard, our cayenne, salt, and pepper. Then we'll put the lid back onto our food processor.
Now what Gavin's doing is he's going to blend it until all ingredients are incorporated and we have that tartar sauce consistency.
All right, we're just going to scrape down the sides. And turn it on one more time. All right. Now all the ingredients should be incorporated. We'll take our sauce.
And now you can see everything's incorporated and it gives a nice off reddish pinkish color. Now we're going to move into our crab cakes. First ingredient that we have here is a ½ pound of Blue Claw lump crab meat. Next we have a ½ cup of ground cracker meal, and if you don't have ground cracker meal you can use an unseasoned breadcrumb, or you can use some crackers and grind them up at your house. We have 1 scallion sliced up. Tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning. 2 tablespoons of parsley for color. 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. 1 egg. Juice of 1 lemon. 2 ounces of sherry. And then we have salt and pepper to taste. And Gavin's going to mix all this up to combine, and then we're going to form some crab cakes.
All right, and when you're mixing everything, you want to be careful not to break up the crab too much.
Once our crab cakes are all mixed together, you can form them in any size that you like. You can make small balls for an appetizer or small crab cakes for an appetizer. We can make them larger for a dinner portion, or you can even use this as a stuffing for stuffed lobster or baked stuffed shrimp or for flounder.
All right, so now we're going to take them and we're going to form them.
We're using a ring mold so that we have all of the same size. Again, you can make them however you feel comfortable at home.
So we're going to press them into the ring mold and we'll just remove it.
Once you have your crab cakes formed, I like to let them set up in my refrigerator for about 15 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and we'll saute them to get some nice color on the outside, and then we'll finish them in the oven.
All right, so now we have the finished crab cakes. We're going to pan sear them. We're going to turn our flame on about medium. We're going to add a little bit of oil. All right. We're going to wait till this gets nice and hot. All right, now our oil should be ready for the crab cakes. We're going to place them carefully in there. Be careful, the oil is really hot. You don't want to splash yourself. And now all you're doing here is you're going to want to brown the crab cakes on the outside. You want to keep in mind that you're not cooking them fully in the pan. We're going to finish them off in the oven. All right, now that our crab cakes are a nice golden brown, we're going to take them, put them on our pan, and now we'll finish them in the oven. And now we're going to let them cook all the way through for about 5 more minutes.
Now that Gavin's cooked our crab cakes, we just took them out of the oven. Now we're going to plate them so you can enjoy them for dinner. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of spring mix, and I'm just going to put it in a bowl, and anytime I'm using, we're just using this really as a garnish. Anytime I'm using that, I do like to dress it. So we're going to put a little bit of oil, a little bit of vinegar, a pinch of salt, and some fresh cracked pepper. And the reason why I like to dress it is because somebody may be eating it, okay? Simply mix it up. I'm going to put that on our plate. Gavin's going to place a crab cake on there. And then we're going to use some of our remoulade sauce right on top. And here we have our crab cakes with remoulade sauce. Thank you for joining us, and tune in again for more recipes from the Culinary Education Center.
My name's Andrew Aranio, owner of Drew's Bayshore Bistro and Keyport, and I got my start at Brookdale.
To learn more about how to get your start at Brookdale, visit brookdalecc.edu.
Hi, I'm Tim Lutz, chef instructor here at the Culinary Education Center in Asbury Park. And along with me, I have a 4th semester student, Anastasia Dudzinski. And today we're going to be making waffles with an apple compote. And what the apple compote is a chunkier, sweeter style of almost like an applesauce. We have apples. We have two types. We have Fuji and Granny Smith apples. The reason why we're using the Granny Smith apples, they're a little tart and they won't break down as much as the Fuji when we're cooking them. And we have vanilla bean. If you don't have vanilla bean at home, you can substitute it with a vanilla extract. I'm going to let Anastasia start walking you through of how to put the compote together.
First, you add 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of brandy, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, pinch of salt, 1/8 a teaspoon of cloves, 1/2 a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 of a vanilla bean slit in half, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And then I'm going to take this over to the stove and bring it to a boil. Okay, so I brought this to a boil and let it simmer for about 5 minutes to reduce it down a little bit and dissolve the sugar. Now I'm going to add my apples to this. As always, be really careful when adding anything to a hot liquid. You don't want to get burned or splashed. Just stir these right into the liquid because you want to bring it back to a boil now. And don't worry about the vanilla bean, you're going to take that out at the end. Make sure all your apples are down in the liquid, let it come back to a boil and simmer it for about 20 minutes until your apples get soft. Especially the Granny Smith, you want to make sure that those are cooked all the way through because they kind of hold together really well when you cook them. But the Fuji apples that we have in here will turn completely to mush and kind of make it nice and sticky for your waffles. Okay, while this is cooking, I'm going to go head over here and make the waffle batter.
Now we're going to move on to our waffle batter. Waffle batter is very similar to a pancake batter, only we're going to have a slightly more fat into it. The ingredients that we have for our waffle batter, we have egg yolks, we have oil, milk, baking powder, flour, egg whites, and sugar. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine our wet ingredients. We're going to combine our dry ingredients over here, our flour and baking powder, and then we're going to combine our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients. Careful not to overmix it. And we also want to make sure it's going to be a little bit lumpy in there. Okay. Then we're going to whip our egg whites into a stiff peak, and then we're going to fold our egg whites into our mixture over here.
Okay, now I'm going to start on the egg whites. Right into your mixer. Turn it on. When your eggs start to get foamy, you want to start adding your sugar in a little at a time. If you put it in all at once, it can keep your egg whites from whipping all the way. And you want to use room temperature eggs so that they whip nicer and also quicker, so it's always a time saver. And also, the sugar is a stabilizer. It'll keep your egg whites from totally deflating at the end when you're done, so that if they have to sit for a minute, they won't totally disappear into nothing. So your egg whites are done. I'm going to show you what a stiff peak actually looks like. You want a stiff peak because it gives volume to your waffles at the end. If you pull your mixer straight up and turn it over, it doesn't fall over. That's a stiff peak.
Our next step, we're going to take our egg whites that have been whipped, and we're going to slowly fold them into our batter over here. We don't want to use a whisk at this point because we've whipped air into here and we have that volume, so we want the batter to be nice and airy. By folding, what we're going to do is simply just turn into the batter. Once we have all of our egg whites incorporated, we're going to move over to our waffle iron. Now we've incorporated our egg whites into our batter, and we're going to move to our waffle iron now. Now that we have our waffle batter made, we've come over to our waffle iron that's been heating up for about 20 minutes. You can see we have a commercial grade waffle iron. At your house, you may have something smaller. Anastasia's going to go ahead and make some waffles for us now. And key thing to remember is that we're going to spray it with a pan release oil so that our waffles don't stick.
Just open up your waffle iron. Be really, really liberal with the pan spray. You really don't want your waffle to stick. That would not be a happy waffle. I have a 1/2 cup measure here, but it's going to be heaping so it's not exact. Make sure you don't drip. Right in the middle. Close your iron, and it's going to bubble a little bit. Don't worry if it bubbles out. And steam is going to come right out the sides. When it stops steaming, that's how you know your waffle is going to be nice and crispy and done, because there's no water left in it. It's going to be awesome.
Now our waffle batter can be used on different waffle irons, but make sure you check your manufacturer's specs before making it. Now you can see our waffle's done. It's nice and golden brown, and Anastasia's going to take it out.
Lift it up, grab it right onto your plate.
And now we're going to go plate it with our Apple Compote and some whipped cream. Now you can see we have our waffles done. We've made a couple of them, and they're all ready to plate for either your friends or family, whatever you plan on doing. We're going to simply take our waffles, and we're going to cut them. You can see that they're divided into 4s from our waffle press. And we're going to shingle them out on the plate. We have our warm apple compote, which we're going to now plate onto our waffles. We have some fresh made whipped cream, which is heavy cream that we've whipped up with a little bit of vanilla and some powdered sugar. A little bit of confection sugar or powdered sugar for some dusting. And for a garnish, we're going to fan out a strawberry. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut small slits almost to the top of our strawberry. We're going to press it out. Put it right on the plate. And now our waffles with apple compote is finished. And please join us again for more recipes from the Culinary Education Center. Thank you.